So here we have Moose, and today we are going to be working on Moose's leash walking in the driveway. So I want to show you how Moose is doing, as well as just some tips and tricks on leash walking as well. So here we are walking in the driveway. Now he went to the wrong side of me, so I bent down closer to his level and coaxing him back to my left side. And once he's on my left side, I said this way and started walking again. So we went to smell something there, but I just told him, and then I changed direction this way, just like that. So we're walking that direction. Then I'm going to tell him this way again. He's going to change direction, and we're going to start walking this way. And I'm telling him good boy throughout all of this when he's being good. So this is when we were changing direction. I told him this way. He changed direction on his own without me having to remind him. So I gave him a treat for that reward. So here I'm telling him easy, because I don't want him to try and bite the treat out of my hand. I want him to be gentle when he takes it out. So I'm just telling him easy. And there he goes. When he's easy like that, that's when I give him the treat and tell him good boy. If he's not being easy, I just tell him until he's gentle with his mouth, taking the treat out of my hand. So he dropped his treat here, but that's okay. I just picked it up and gave him a new one. So here I'm going to tell him this way and change direction. And I want him to kind of stay by my left side and just pivot with me going to the left direction. Here's when I turn him again. There we go. He did a circle around me. I tell him good boy. And I gave him that reward. Tell him this way. And then give him that treat when he comes along up. There we go. Good boy. I'm telling him throughout all of this. Positive marker words to keep it extra positive, like yes, good boy, Moose, things like that. I want him to want to work and want to do this. So here we are again. I'm just telling him to sit. I told him to do it down for me. He was being good, and then I told him this way, and then started walking again. And he hopped right up and kept going. So then I give him that treat and tell him he's a good boy. When he does those positive things, I want to mark that with positive words. So here I'm waiting for him to sit, or I change direction, and then we're going to see if, okay, so he went on the wrong side of me here, so I just stopped. I told him, and waited for him to correct it, just like that. There we go, and then I told him, good boy, I gave him that treat because he walked around me with that little bit of luring. So I told him, good boy, this way, and change direction, just like that. Tell him this way again. So I say this way whenever I change direction. That way he knows what to expect rather than just changing direction and catching them off guard. We don't want to do that. So as I'm just telling him he's a good boy. And I picked the leash up again, tell them this way. And then we're just going to do some back and forth paths of changing direction. We like to practice that just so they know that when that word is said, they have to look up to know what's going around. That way they're like, oh, okay, we're either changing direction, stopping, doing something like that, starting up again. So here I'm waiting for him to sit, and then I'm going to mark that when he does, just because he gave me that good handler focus. I'm telling him good boy throughout all of this. Told him this way, change direction, give him that treat. I'm going to have him do it down for me, tell him he's a good boy. Now this is where I'm doing that easy again. So I'm just telling him easy, and then giving him that treat when he's gentle, so telling him easy. And then if he goes to get my hand, I say and try it again. And now he's being gentle, and that's when I reward that. I want him to know what I'm telling him to do. And then I'm just going to give him lots of pets. He wanted some belly rubs, so I made sure to give him extra belly rubs because he was a good boy. So here we have Moose outside in the backyard. We're going to try some recall. So he is completely off leash in the backyard. Now I apologize, there are some dogs in the background that are getting a little jealous because they can see us out here and they want the backyard free time as well. So we're going to add some treats here. We're going to start off with some. So we are starting off with some off-leash recall. It got a little windy, so I decided to voice this over because you couldn't really hear me. So here I am trying to get Moose a little distracted because he has very great handler focus, and it is a little hard to practice recall sometimes. So I am just trying to get him busy, trying to do something without looking at me. And then once he looks away, that's when I want to cue in that focus and call him to me. So the main thing to do and focus on and recall is you want to make sure you have their attention before you recall them to you. So by doing a noise like whistling or making a kissy noise with your mouth, that way you get their focus and then you give them that command. Because if their eyes aren't looking at you, then their ears aren't either. They're turned off. They're thinking about something else, and you want them to be focused on you when you give that recall. So here I am just trying to get him distracted. Once he gets distracted, I'm going to say, Moose, come. And then give him that reward when he gets to me. And then throw a big party when he gets to me as well, especially when you're practicing this. When he first comes home, you want to make sure it's a big party when he gets to you. You want to make sure he's excited to come to you. You can try high-value treats, things like that to make it exciting and a positive experience coming back to you. That way, if anything were to happen and you go on a long walk, you have a stronger recall. Now, Moose already has a strong recall because he loves people. He is very people-oriented and has such great handler focus when we're training that he likes to stick around, which is really nice and really convenient actually. But I wanted to share with you some of the backyard off-leash recall. It's very nice to have, and it is something we try and focus on here at Lewis Manor a lot because we have a lot of property around us. We take them on lots of woods walks, so we want that strong off-leash recall, especially when they go home to those new families. We want them to be able to practice it, be able to know. We want the dog to be able to know what they're talking about and how to perform it for them, because if they ever go on a walk or something and the dog got away off the leash, or even if you wanted to take them on a hike off leash, we want them to have that strong recall. That way you know that they're going to come back to you. You just want to make sure you have their attention. That way you have about a 95% chance of it working. So here I'm going to walk up, grab some more treats for Moose here, put the bag down, and then we're going to go do a few more times just like that, just back and forth with that off-leash recall.